What's up, guys? Group chat bonus episode. It's on in here. No D&D drama, so we don't have to talk about MAGA stuff. My wife, Amanda, Colleen, and Kate. And, November is Epilepsy Awareness Month. And we did this episode a year ago with our neurologist, Dr. Hussein. And we kind of explained what infantile spasms is and how devastating epilepsy can be. And Josh told me yesterday, I didn't even know, we were top 20 in business podcasts with that episode. So we need to get top 10.
Yes.
Share it. So the purpose of this episode is not only to bring epilepsy awareness to the forefront, because as parents of kids with epilepsy, it's a very devastating condition. But we also want to educate people so they don't get scared. So Dr. Hussein said this on the last episode a year ago, which really gave me kind of just an idea of what epilepsy is. And he said, when you go to Disneyland, if someone has a heart attack, everyone runs to the front. If someone has a seizure, everyone backs up because they're scared. And we need to change that. And we have an amazing cast of moms that have dealt with all of this. And I want to kick it off to Colleen, who's been such an amazing advocate of epilepsy specifically. And, you're very vocal on Instagram and social.
Just want to add one thing. So all of us, though, have gone through infantile spasms, which is what our son specifically was diagnosed with first. So I think epilepsy in general, but also a specific emphasis on IS, but just, yes. And also to kind of introduce Colleen, before I introduce Kate, Colleen was one of the first moms I met on Instagram. She's kind of a big deal in the IS community.
You guys,
she really is.
You're just buttering me up over here.
Yeah.
No pressure.
So she's kind of the one that, I don't know. I actually don't even remember our first Instagram chat or what it was, but it was
early.
years and years and years ago. It was probably like within the first year of our son's diagnosis. But yes, I'll let you take it from here and you can kind of introduce yourself.
Okay.
And then, Kate.
Wow. What an introduction. Buttered me up quite a bit. So, anyways, thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here. And, I'm so excited to talk about my favorite topic ever, my son, and along with my least favorite topic ever, which is epilepsy. And, so really the diagnosis that, started us on this, hellish roller coaster ride was really that infantile spasms diagnosis. It is a seizure type, and it is a particularly catastrophic seizure type. And when you get that diagnosis, it's going to change the course of your whole life. And it is such a foreboding and difficult diagnosis. But I'm so glad that I've met people like Amanda along the way, and we support each other. And we're just starting to build a really strong community. And we're trying to raise the awareness and really elevate, just the prominence of epilepsy out in the world, because more people need to know about this disease and more people need to know about the things that we go through being caregivers to children with infantile spasms. And, they do become adults. So it's important that we talk about the emotional aspects of this journey as well. So again, happy to be here.
Yeah, it's great. And Kate, please tell us your story.
And sorry, just interrupt for her as well. So we met probably on Instagram only like a year and a half ago, maybe.
Yeah.
And you guys might have known if you guys participated in the, and if you didn't, totally fine. But in our GoFundMe for infantile spasms, and also I think there was a toy drive involved with that as well. But we raised enough money basically to.
You guys crushed it. Congrats.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. But we raised enough money to actually spend a good portion of that for her project. But I'll let her explain. But we connected and we talked on the phone, and I just was so obsessed with the thought that like you could create something, I guess, like so unique, but also that's so needed, but in like such a different vein than I am used to, or like on it.
Or that I was used to. Yeah. No, I think we all have like very different journeys, even though infantile spasms is a central piece. And I think it's hard that there isn't the community easily available for newly diagnosed parents. And you're trying to navigate a diagnosis and also find out how you're dealing with that, how to, I don't know, just everything. And then who's your support, and having like meeting people that you just instantly feel like you can talk to is something that you take for granted, and you realize how precious that is when people don't get what you're going through. And that was something instantly, I think, with you, Colleen, and Amanda, in totally different veins that you don't always get. And you start to feel super lonely because you get that infantile spasms diagnosis and you are removed from normal parenting, no matter how it turns out.
That's such a good way to phrase
like,
it.
You're just
so isolating.
You're out. Like, I talk to so many new moms that are diagnosed, and a lot of them, they do go on to have much, honestly, better journeys than even we've experienced. And I love that for them, but they're still super traumatized. And
Absolutely.
They don't feel like their friends that have kids their ages worry about the same things and movements and, stuff that it just is being a mom already, being a parent already, and then trying to deal with that diagnosis and find support is so hard. I feel
like it becomes very humbling, whereas,
so humbling.
Which kind of like, I actually think this is maybe a good segue, but we had our son first who was diagnosed, and then we had our daughter later. And I know you guys are different, but I think that we have, not to like, make us seem like we're so like whatever about it, but like things that we care about with our daughter are just like, is she healthy?
It's a perspective change.
It's such a perspective.
Yeah, no,
it's getting woke.
I think it's definitely a perspective change. And I think to identify, no two epilepsy kids are the same.
Yes.
And we've learned this from being in the community with you guys. And, Mav's journey is different than Owen's journey.
Yeah.
And, Charlotte's journey is different than Mav's journey. And there's no like pattern matching, which is really frustrating as a parent. And someone that, like, I'm a business guy, and my everything I have done that is done well is pattern matching.
Yep.
And you can't do that with epilepsy.
No, it's too nuanced.
Because the good outcomes don't mean the good outcomes for you, and the bad ones honestly don't mean anything either. Like, you're on your own path, and as a control freak, as a first-time parent, like, I read every book. This was not in them. Fuck. Like, it's hard.
No, I think it's really important to identify how this disease affects people so differently. And like you said, that there's no manual, right? Like, we all are just figuring it out day to day. And it sucks. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
I tell people it's like going out to ski on your very first day and having to do a double black diamond, right? I mean, it's just like, this is what you got to do. You got to get down the mountain. So good luck.
So Owen was 16 months. Charlotte was 24 months. So like, that's
6 months.
I didn't know it was that old. Oh, wow.
And I think about that a lot with like, Charlotte's my first too, and I know Owen's your third, but like,
give me a slight advantage, very very minuscule.
But already, like, their first year of life, like, that's hard, anyways, and like, it's all new and different, and then you throw that in the mix, and like, it's
true.
So I'd love to kind of kick it off to the healthcare journey. So, Mav has a team of 15 people that work with him. Oof. Some that are covered by health insurance, some that aren't.
No, we can submit sewer bills.
Sure.
You just might not get the payments, but I get them.
There's ways, but it's
but
time,
I'm just
effort.
curious,
Yes,
like
100%.
you guys as parents, how have you guys managed that whole situation? Because I know it's really tough because you need a big team.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I personally I was an administrator in a surgical practice, and I went to school for health management and policy. I, by all standards, probably know how to navigate the system. I wouldn't say better than anybody, but just, I was comfortable and knew all the right things to ask to do. And it still is a bear. Like it is. I don't know how the average parent, I thought all the time, what about parents that have hourly jobs, that don't have the flexibility to spend the time on it that others do?
Or you don't know they can push back on insurance. Like if they get a denial, they're like, oh gosh, I guess this is it.
Yeah.
You almost have to have, I feel like some people who kind of got ahead end up having these really great caseworkers that they get assigned to. And a caseworker from like a government, resource can be a huge game changer for a family. And if you have one that's like lazy or impacted with work and they're not really introducing you to the right programs, it's a huge disadvantage. Like, I feel like we were really blessed because we had this amazing caseworker right in the beginning. And even though it was really rough because she was trying to sort of delicately introduce me to like, your child will have a disability and here are the things that and I would just be like, oh, well, we won't really know what his disabilities are going to be like or where he's going to fall on the spectrum. And so I almost, I would put her off a little in the beginning because I wasn't really ready to jump into that world. But I'm so thankful that she did get me plugged in with the benefits and resources that my son is absolutely entitled to. And it really saved my family in a lot of ways.
That's amazing. That is opposite of what we have.
I was going to say, I love that for you.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
We literally have learned most about how to fight the system from you guys, like from moms, where I will be DMing with like Janina, for instance. And she's like, why are you not like asking for X, Y, and Z? And I was like, no one's ever told
you
me.
It's like you have to be in the know.
But that's where epilepsy, in the nuances of it, it's not a standardization of anything. I bet none of our kids even do EEGs the same, which is wild.
100% no.
Yeah.
Like nothing is standard and there's no real, like even us talking about different medications, like there are some really outdated views on certain things for incoming physicians that like you would think have the most up-to-date knowledge, but
they don't.
Epilepsy is such a nuanced thing that it's really hard to have amazing advocates when
it's hard for the community to develop when outcomes are so different. And the other thing I think
they're given different like rules and instructions.
Yeah. And the other thing I think that really impacts, especially the infantile spasm community, is that a lot of these kids eventually get an overarching diagnosis. They learn what the cause is of their specific epilepsy. Mm-hmm. And then they jump into going to conferences for this or that syndrome. And they kind of are like, okay, well, epilepsy, then that is just a symptom of the syndrome. But if you're like my son, 7 years old, still totally undiagnosed, we haven't been able to find anything going on with his the structure of his brain or his genetics. I hope to one day get an answer.
Did you get cortical dysplasia or no?
No, but it's been like suspected. Got it. Right. That's kind of the leading.
Right. Okay.
Leading suspicion.
I mean, that's the only. We have.
And that's what we have. Right? But like, it doesn't mean a diagnosis.
We've got to be the leaders in the epilepsy infantile spasm community because other people leave and they go into their little syndromes, which I'm so happy for them, and they get their own communities. But then there's, we're kind of left on the outskirts.
And just
So
to kind
can
of
you
explain
cortical dysplasia?
Yeah, cortical
Basically,
dysplasia.
Sorry, we
cortical
started.
dysplasia, for people that are listening, it's basically a disease part of the brain that it's not developing at the same rate as the rest of the brain.
And it could be like a few bad genes, which is kind of what's suspected because we also do not have a actual diagnosis.
Yeah, so frustrating.
For MAV, which is very frustrating. And it's also like, what if this is a new genetic disorder that needs to be kind of found? And,
And are we working hard enough to find that? But what are we going to change if we find it? There's so many
And
competing
our kids
things.
have siblings and they need to know if they're out there.
I mean,
like,
that was a huge
making
thing
babies,
for,
right?
kind of going back to where, speaking of like, like you can speak about sort of being like the third kid, Owen. But like for me, I feel like having Mav set our like plan, which was whatever, who cares? Like in terms of like having kids, not a big deal, whatever.
It's gone.
We move.
Plan.
She's here. She's great. But like it definitely did like set our like family plan back a little bit.
Yeah.
And,
Little
like
understatement
also,
of the year.
I was infants, even though I hate when doctors say this, infants do make weird fucking faces.
Yes. Teddy.
Like, I was not okay until she was 8 months. Like every single thing she
I
did.
can only imagine.
I had like heart
Until
palpitations.
Teddy was 2.
Yeah.
And our pediatrician said to
So
me,
Teddy's your second, just to clarify.
Yeah.
So Charlotte has epilepsy.
and Charlotte was diagnosed with infantile spasms at 2. So you waited until Vivi passed when Mav was diagnosed.
Right, exactly.
No, that's
And,
the marker. Okay.
That's what I was waiting for with Teddy, which just happened.
Well, now it just makes me scared that like.
And, but it makes you feel a little bit better. And then in some ways, I'm also like, they were different from the beginning and I knew it. And at the same time, any weird movement he'd make, I would freak out. It's just
Mav
hard.
wasn't different though. He was actually tracking weirdly. Like I know I'm like I'm like the
looking
proud
like
mom.
milestone
Yeah.
But
wise,
he was above everyone, or above her. Even.
Looking back, you're like, wait, you see
I know.
the red flags.
I think now it's so ingrained that she's just like her own person.
Yeah.
But at the time, no, like she didn't miss any milestones.
Yeah.
And I like go back and I'm like, did we miss something?
Oh,
and
you can't go back in photos sometimes because
Yeah.
there's sometimes like, oh my gosh, I want to see a video of him when like a
And
month
he
or
was
so
on
before
steroids
he
and
was
he's 30 pounds overweight.
Yeah.
Well, no,
Sweet
that
little moon face.
that for sure. But also, I would even say like it's even worse when I go back and look at videos like
that's the
2 months
before.
before
Yep.
he was diagnosed, and I was like, okay. I literally
You see
saw
it?
an eye twitch,
Aw.
and I know it now because I know his face when he has it, and I'll know his face for the rest of his
I mean,
life
I'll
if he
never
has
forget
it.
this.
But I didn't know it then.
There was a day, and I took Mav to the Grove. We went to Marmalade Cafe, which is like the,
Very iconic.
and Anthony actually met us there.
Mhm.
And then we went to the larder and waited for you. And he was doing the like face drop, and we were laughing.
Oh, I laughed too. Yeah,
Aw.
I put it on Instagram.
And that's
I put one on Instagram. I was like, "Oh, you're tired." It's like literally
Like
like
him, like,
I'm the worst parent.
drunk
I
guy
look
at the
back
bar.
and I'm like, "Oh my
No,
god, he's
that
the drunk
one's
guy at the
burned
bar."
in.
And
That one's burned
Anthony,
in.
who's like literally one of our best friends, was like, I can't believe we laughed at that.
Oh. Of course
I mean,
we did
I
that.
put
We
it on
didn't know. It was
Instagram. I'm
silly.
an asshole.
Well, I always talk about the first indicator with Owen. He was my third. And if it makes you guys feel any better, I thought there was something weird about that kid, like the day he was born.
Yeah.
And it, I know you guys like dismissed a lot of that. And probably we all got the diagnosis about the same time, right? But I thought there was something weird about him. I hate to say that about him. He's my prince, okay?
Yeah.
But he would make the strangest sounds. That's what I talk about. I was like, his cry sounded weird. He didn't coo like a baby normally does. He made like guttural, weird, repetitive noises. And I did keep taking him to the pediatrician. Before I even saw a seizure, I was like, something is up. And I had a really hard time kind of explaining what I was seeing. And I was totally dismissed by the pediatricians, right? And these are pediatricians with great reputations, been doing this 30 years. And I had 3 kids and they still were treating me like I was just a nervous first-time mom who didn't know anything. And I'm telling you, like, when eventually seizures did begin and we started realizing there was neurologically some deficits here, I was like, I've been saying it. I even have a picture of me holding Owen like the day he was born, and he's making a real weird face. Like I was like, So it doesn't matter, even if you do suspect, right?
I think moms, parents, even it just like, and I think the best neurologists really get that. And
our
I
neurologist
do.
actually, he calls me the seizure whisperer. He's like, I didn't think so. He's
Yes.
like, but
All right, we'll
if you
send you the
say so, get into an EEG tomorrow.
Same.
Yeah.
And ours will be like, I really didn't think that. And we were kind of humoring you. And I wish I was wrong, but like,
Yeah,
No,
when
it
you know,
literally,
you
I mean,
know.
not to put Anand down, but like, I think he's a little bit in like denial at some points. It goes, if I see something, 1A, like our nanny's like 1B, like a very close 1B. If she caught actually one of them on like a photo that was live and she was looking at it. And she sent it to me, I was like, that's a seizure.
Yeah.
Let's go. And Anand's like, oh, I don't know.
Well, I remember thinking seizures weren't a big deal.
If my
I was like,
husband
do you even go
is
to the emergency
concerned,
room?
I'm like, we're done.
I know. It's true.
I know. If we got to the point where he's concerned, then
exactly. Yeah.
we're done.
Yeah. no.
Like it's take it to the bank.
I actually want to touch on one thing about just care for kids, because I think at this point we've probably spent 100 nights in the hospital in the last 5 years. If I had to,
Century Club.
Yeah, exactly.
if I had to guess,
Do we get something for that?
Yeah, do we get a plaque?
We get a lot of money
I'm
to
still
pay to
waiting for the
insurance.
check.
Right.
Yeah.
But what my point is, being in the hospital, and we have the luxury that one of us or both of us can be there. The number of rooms, regardless, not epilepsy or not, that is social workers that are the ones that are taking the diagnosis when the rounding teams come. And I can't tell you, in the ICU, in the pediatric ward, the number of times where the PICU, the parents just don't have the ability to actually care for their kids because they have to go work.
Or they might have other kids at home who needs attendance, period.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that would make me so sad. I'm like, despite what Mav's going through, we're able to figure it out. Like one of us can be there, or both of us can be there, or my mom can be there.
Yeah.
And I see so many rooms where the social worker is the one that gets the kind of diagnosis from the.
Or the kids' rooms are just kind of empty.
That is so sad. I've seen that a few times too. Oh, I know. It's heartbreaking.
I think
Like a baby all alone.
Diagnosis was the biggest eye opener of nuances in life, not just epilepsy. That, like, yes, we had the ability we would have gone anywhere, done anything, made anything work. And yes, that's a privilege, but realizing the amount of people that don't have those same options, even in similar situations,
It's disgusting. Yeah.
is
So sad.
it also just impacts like everything with like you get how it impacts like their families, and then
And also even like not even just the care at the hospitals, but also just like the therapies. Like there's a few moms, I mean, not like so many, but like there's a few moms that are always like, there's one like OT in X, Y, and Z. And it's like, God, how do you handle kind of getting like the extra supportive like therapist care,
And to add to that, I think Dr. Hussain talked about this last year, how the parents of kids with these sort of diagnoses actually start having severe health issues. And Amanda, you can edit this if you want. She had an ulcer last week.
I did have an ulcer, yes. Yeah, you can put that in there.
And
I believe it.
he identified like there's more emergency room visits, heart attacks, strokes.
There's more divorces.
yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
So
I mean, postpartum, think about like what we know about maternal health. Like if there's no support after you have a child anyways, and then you have a child that has this diagnosis, like nobody's coming to help.
No.
Like nobody's checking in on you, and it's up to, honestly, how lucky you are, the support around you.
Yeah, she was in the hospital last week.
Oh,
Yeah. I mean, it was like,
I mean, it's
3
fine,
hours,
but
calm
it was, we were definitely admitted into
I
the
was there,
hospital.
yes.
Admitted to the hospital. But when we went to Dr. Hussein for the first post-clinical visit after he was diagnosed, he actually was seizure-free for a couple months after 6 months.
I mean, the steroids, actually, sorry to interrupt. I do want to ask this question though. Did steroids always work for you guys?
Never.
No, they didn't
Never.
touch. They didn't touch the spasms, but VGB did the trick.
Yeah.
That's so interesting because steroids worked every single time. It was just like, you can't be on steroids.
It's the ones the treatment that you hate the most is always the most effective. I swear, like every family I talk to, it's always steroids. The worst one.
I hate it so much.
It was like us
It's
in
worse
keto.
every time.
It's worse. I mean, he would gain 50% of his body weight pretty much. Like it was crazy. And he was so grumpy. Like there were times when we had to do, sorry, what's the second, the shot one of the
Acthar.
ACTH.
Yeah.
We had to do ACH, which, so just for the listener, is a steroid that you have to actually inject into your kid.
Into your
it's
little
a very,
baby's
very,
thigh.
Which is $150,000 a month versus like $500 for prednisolone.
But it's covered but yes. But we had to inject it into Mav like every single day for this course, which was like a month or whatever. He would get so mad. This was probably at like age 3 that like whenever Anna would walk in the room, because I couldn't do the injection. And so Anna would have to do it. Anna would walk in the room and he would literally start like trying to attack him. Like he would start trying to like bite him because he was like, do not come at me with a needle. Like I can't do this again. And it was like, it was
I'll never forget it.
terrible.
It was
I've
Christmas
actually
time,
blocked it
too.
out on my mind. I don't even remember it. I blocked it out.
I think we've talked about
It's
this.
the trauma.
I don't know about you, Colleen, but I mean, I give you props, and I know I have to give it to my husband. There are things that just I couldn't do as a mom, and I feel guilt about it, but it was
I don't
like
feel any guilt.
it had to be Brett. It had to be him, and I feel bad that he experienced some of those really hard things with her.
Yeah.
But it was heartbreaking, and
You guys, we had a nurse. We were like assigned a nurse during Acthar, and I
that's
don't
amazing.
know. Yeah, it's like I haven't heard of any other hospitals or clinics doing this, but we used to have a nurse that came in and she did the injections.
That's
So
nice.
really
Nice, yeah.
He would have liked his dad a little
we
more.
had some luxury treatment, I suppose. I thought they were acting like that was normal at the time. It might have been because I think it was 2018 or 19.
And see, we
So
didn't even
it
get
was
the
before
option of
COVID.
ACTH because after COVID, it became like difficult to like storage or whatever the reasoning was.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, there was so many things. Or I refused, even to this day, even though Mav has gotten so great at going in EEG, which is kind of sad in its own right, that he's like okay with it now. But like, I was just like, nope, I'm going to wait in the car. I'm going to drop you guys off right in
Girl,
front.
I created a
I'm
stuffed
gonna go-
animal because
Yeah.
I
I have to deal with it.
Oh,
It's like, you do the
I love
EEG.
that.
like
You
it
do the
was
IVs. But then
Yes.
also at the same time, just to like not toot my own horn, but I also am the one who sleeps with him every
Yeah.
single
No,
night.
but
that
once
he's
he's
there.
asleep,
Yeah. That's not true. I cuddle. And come on. Come on.
no, but shout out to the EEG techs at UCLA. We love them all.
they're the
they are
best.
so good. They are so quick.
so
EEG
good.
techs in general, just incredible people.
Yeah.
They really are.
One thing I did, we kind of briefly talked about this earlier, but just like the dynamics with like the kids. So like just to explain, like I know it was very difficult, as we said, sort of like kind of trying to figure out, you know, if we should have another kid, like the concerns around that. But I will say when Vivian came, you know, she's healthy, knock on wood, and doing amazing and great. And she's very precocious and love her to death. And she's at home a very normal, like younger sister, like doesn't like when he touches her stuff. Like
I do it myself kind of thing.
Yeah. She's like a little bit of a brat. And I will say though, there was this one story though. He went to this ball pit place, and this kid was throwing balls at Mav, and like Mav can't obviously, speak to say anything about it. And our nanny was the one who took them, and she said that Vivian literally like jumped off the side of the thing and attacked the kid.
Go girl.
Like, don't do that to my brother.
Ooh.
And so it's like, I feel
don't cross her.
Definitely don't. She's a menace. But no, I think that even though I don't see it, like she's understanding sort of like that he does need to be protected.
Oh, that's sweet though.
And I think
good.
it's amazing. I'm obsessed with it. I think that like
they don't know
it's a
anything.
crash course in empathy,
Yeah, she can mess with him and like no one else can. And it is definitely a cross Christian empathy. But I guess like sort of like how do your guys' kids sort of like deal with
I think Teddy, we're only now he's just turned 2. And in so many ways, I feel like they're really at the same point with things.
He's still pretty young.
He's still pretty young, and she still has that, like she's the older sibling. We'll see.
She's the boss.
Yeah. And, she has that, regardless of anything that Charlotte's been through, she's happy and she does her own thing. But I don't think I worry about it, but we don't fully know yet. So yeah, you probably
I think
have
they're
a
all
better.
going to grow up with Dorothy, but Colleen, tell me your experiences too.
Okay, yeah, I get asked this a lot actually because Owen is my third, so I already had 2 older kiddos around, and the only thing that really troubles me about that family dynamic is honestly my older 2 kids, my 13-year-old and my 10-year-old. That's their ages now, and epilepsy came into our lives about 6 years ago. They really saw a lot of the trauma that I went through in the beginning, and they really had to kind of go on that ride with me. And sometimes I think maybe I didn't do a great job of kind of holding back the emotions that I was going through because I just let it all out. I mean, I would be crying. I'd have a hard time getting out of bed when Owen was getting diagnosed and things were looking really grim for him. And I remember my mom even saying to me, she was like, Colleen, you got to get it together for the other 2, But I don't know. It's life.
I
can't
that's
protect
also good
them.
for them to see.
I can't protect them from everything. And I maybe there was some value there. Maybe there was some trauma that they probably didn't need to have. But as a family, we're really working on that now that Owen's stable. And my husband and I are trying really hard
how
to.
Many?
Yeah.
It's what, 13?
Oh my God, are we going to say it out loud? Such bad juju.
Oh, I actually got over that because I was like, oh.
You got it. Yeah, there's
there's so many times I didn't say it and it ended
and then
up
it goes
relapsing.
away.
Yeah. So what we're talking about to the audience is there's you don't say the number out loud. It's just
it's like Fight Club.
No, it's good. I'm gonna say it. Because we reached a big milestone for my guy. This is completely unexpected. My guy Owen, we went through periods of time where he was having 100 seizures a day, and things were looking really, really negative for his future. But I'm happy to report after surgery and 20 different drug trials, my guy just surpassed a year seizure free. So it's
huge.
unbelievable. It's an absolute miracle. It's completely unexpected. And we're celebrating every moment we get with him. And this is our first year of stability ever. So like I said, my family's kind of recovering. We're getting over to the trauma together. Yeah. And Owen is who Owen's going to be. He's a unique individual, and we love him for the person that he was always meant to be.
This is a question that we bounced around with each other on the text messages, but I know that you thought that this was an interesting one. I'm calling this specifically, I guess, but please, everyone chime in, Anand included. If your brain is sort of like stable, you're not having the seizures, how important do you guys think like the therapies are? Because I feel like there's so many different.
That's a hot one.
I will say, I think that it is all based on what is best for you and the kid. Charlotte has had long periods of freedom, and I feel like at the very beginning, I thought that was the answer. like more therapy. That just will be it. That's what we need to do. And it wasn't serving her or us. And I think it was partially just denial that like we weren't embracing, like, yes, you want to give them everything and have them have the best opportunity, but at what cost to their just being able to
their quality of life.
Yeah, and yours and the rest of everybody else, that like not the, other people and you should be more important than them. But I feel like I thought it was the answer, and I now think that Charlotte does things in her own time, and yes, she needs support, and it's helpful to have other people help with things, but I think it is.
Does she have a one-on-one at school?
She doesn't. She's still in like preschool. It's and
she's doing amazing as well. Like
she
in terms
is
of her diagnosis.
She is. We did just add focal seizures recently, which we knew was a possibility, but didn't make it any easier. And we were just saying that, I feel like we glossed over that it wasn't spasms because that's huge. And it was such a blow in different ways that like huge that it's not spasms.
It's almost harder when you think one battle is over, but actually you're just like going into the second phase, right?
It surprised me. I was frustrated with myself, honestly, at how much but I don't know. I think I now think that therapies can be an overpromise of things that aren't. I don't know. I don't know if that's right.
It's acceptance. It's a journey of acceptance, you know?
And I also think it's kind of what I touched on in the beginning of the podcast, that no two kids have the same epilepsy journey. Yeah. And no two kids have, like, for us, I know when I get a good EEG from UCLA, I tell the therapist, I'm like, let's go. Like his brain's functioning. Yep. Let's get as much as we can
right now,
in this period of time.
Yeah, absolutely. But I love Napa Center.
Everyone knows their kid, and I know when he can be lazy. He can be, he can be
he's also just a kid.
Yeah.
And that's hard. That it's like you have to balance, like, she can have an off day, and like sometimes I'm like nervous about that, but like she's entitled to that. But then there's also that, hey, we just got a clear EEG. Yeah. We never thought we'd see this. Like, you are being a lazy daisy. And you say that. That and we're going to push
That's
you.
That's such a sweet way to put it.
Because you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they should be entitled to that too.
Yeah, that's true, of course.
Isn't that beautiful to be able to push them like that? I feel like, you know what? Like,
but I mean,
I don't know if it's right.
I mean, it's just every kid has a different journey.
But it's also the same way you would push
parents, you have to actually figure out what is right for your kid. Like you've clearly figured out what's right for Charlotte. It seems like. And obviously you with Owen, and I think we're in agreement of how we should push Mav.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've always been on the same page for sure. We're thankfully for that. Yeah.
It's just
that was rough in the beginning though, right? Like I have some feelings around pushing really hard in the beginning with Owen. We did a lot of therapeutic intensives, and I was driving him all around LA, getting him to, alternative therapies, expensive therapies, all day therapies. And I mean, for Owen, my big goal in life was I really wanted him to be able to walk. He was a really, really late walker. Oh my God, I was
walking all over the place.
Now you're stop walking.
Now I know, right? Now I'm like, slow down, kid. But it was so tough those years. I pushed him really hard, and sometimes I look back and I think, man, did I play that wrong? But he is walking today. It was a huge goal of our families. I really felt like he had it in him to be able to walk. I wanted that so bad for him, and I pushed really hard at the time. But I do definitely have some feelings like, wow, a lot of years of childhood were spent in PT for that kid. But I don't know.
It was
That's a
worth
tough
it,
one. It's a
though.
hot
Yeah,
issue.
yeah.
It's controversial in our community, really, how much therapy is appropriate.
Yeah, we definitely do a lot.
Yeah. No, I agree. So,
But also MAB
Well,
does
that's how
need-
we met, right?
Yes, exactly. We also need like a full-time person for MAB at his school. So that's an automatic whole day person that has to be on it for ABA at least.
so Kate flew in from Boston. Colleen's up here from Irvine, right? Irvine?
Close enough. Orange
Or
County.
whatever,
Yeah.
Orange County. And what's going on tomorrow? Because I know we're going to Disneyland. Can you guys explain what the situation is?
You want? Okay. So let's see. Tomorrow is the big day in Purple Ribbon World. It's the annual Epilepsy Awareness Days conference. It happens at Disneyland. It's today and tomorrow all day. It's totally free for families to come to. There's a lecture series. There's a big expo. All the various resources and medical providers will be there that represent epilepsy treatment. It's a really fun thing. We all get together, and on Wednesday, we paint the park purple. So you come out with your epilepsy gear on, you go to Disneyland, and we kind of take it over. And it's a really beautiful thing to see the community all together like that. So if you're free on Wednesday and you own the color purple, you better be there.
And you guys are doing a talk, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Us three are doing
sorry, I
it.
forgot that part.
You like blanked it out.
I'm doing so much talking the next couple of days. I'm sure people are sick of me by now, but yeah. So what time is it? It's tomorrow, 10:30 a.m.
Yes.
Us three mamas are going to be talking about the infantile spasms journey. It's being hosted by a pharmaceutical company. They're called Pyros. Well, we're not sure if that's actually their name anymore,
Shout out
but
to Edwin.
yeah. They are the manufacturers of a top drug that is treating this extremely rare type of epilepsy. So we're happy to support them, and we're going to talk about our journeys. And there's a couple of MDs there that are going to discuss how infantile spasms are treated as well. So come see us.
But what's super cool about this drug, which parents
We've all been on.
Yes,
Ish.
which we've all been on. This was for a moment our miracle drug, but only parents, even if you're not an epilepsy parent, I'm sure you've given your kid Tylenol. Imagine you have to mix some dust
Oh God.
yeah.
and water and stir it up
and
and
then
kind of guess,
yeah.
but also their
Doing it in a
seizure freedom
syringe. Yeah.
depends on it.
Yeah.
And
It's like those electrolyte pouches, but
Yes,
like
exactly.
way
It's
more
like
serious.
liquid IV,
Yeah, it's
And-
liquid IV.
but that I think
but
really
hopefully it prevents seizures.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's also so serious that
Slightly more serious.
they, because Charlotte was, I think, 3 when turned 3, and like insurance wouldn't cover it because she was too old, and it's like, well, can you tell that to the spasms?
Yeah.
But just I think really highlights how behind medications, therapies, treatments, everything are for epilepsy.
So that's kind of actually a good segue into what I wanted to kind of end with. So, so me and Anand definitely, like, I think everyone's kind of seen who follow group chat or Instagrams. Like ours is very Dr. Hussein research focused for like new medicines, different trials in terms of like how EEGs work. It's kind of, but it's all research based. But you guys also have taken like different routes, each of you. So I want you guys both to explain sort of like your goals. I know we've kind of touched on them briefly, but like, promote your businesses, guys.
All right. Plug time.
Yeah, plug time. Because they're all so amazing.
So I'm not a scientist. I knew immediately I was way out of my league, and I think Monica from the Pediatric Epilepsy Surgery Alliance said something to me that I really honestly took to heart and shaped things, that you don't have to be a not-for-profit to do good, and that ultimately a lot of the things that the research that is being done, being able to support that. So yeah, I created an EEG bear, which
So cute.
yeah, I mean,
And a sibling bear.
and a sibling bear and just an advocate bear that anybody can learn about epilepsy. I think especially as, Charlotte's getting older, my kids are getting older, and just ultimately wanting the world to be kind and inclusive.
Also, I've gotten them for both of my children's schools, and the kids are obsessed with it. Obviously, they have MAV as sort of like a backbone, I guess, in terms of like the explanation of it. But kids are really, really, really interested, and I think it's it's pretty important for them to learn about all this stuff. They don't know what it is, and they get scared.
And so, just going into Charlotte's class, they were so receptive. And hopefully if they learn about it at a younger age, then it's not as shocking or, scary or something
just
they turn away from.
Disabilities in general.
Yeah, it's just not talked about. And so then it becomes an uncomfortable thing.
And if anyone listens at hospitals, hit us up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we actually gave them to UCLA, like I said earlier, and we went in without them knowing that we were the ones that were like connected with Kate to do it. And the EEG tech was like, "Oh my God, do you want a bear MAV?" And we're like, "No, those are for us. Like,
save them.
Save that one. We already have one at home." But like, he was like, "Oh my God, the kids are obsessed with them. Like, it makes them so comfortable, especially the older kids." Like, I mean, it's really great to explain it to them. They have a little EEG cap on. It's adorable.
Yeah, thanks. But I think ultimately, research and advancing treatments and overall just awareness is hopefully a byproduct of it.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Yeah, so I think we're all rowing in the same
100%.
direction.
Yeah, for sure.
I think EEGs are like overdue for a new PR person because
it
look
should have
like
been
something out of a creepy horror movie.
Yes.
And also they should be at
Frankenstein
home.
stuff. Yeah, absolutely.
Hope.
So we've got
in 10 years we'll be able to do them at home.
Maybe Edwin should figure out EEGs next.
Yes, please.
Seriously.
Well, then Colleen, talk about your stuff too.
Okay. All right. So
all right.
I know I'm closing it out. So everybody's ready to go. Okay, here we go. So like Kate, I'm really excited to be here because I'm trying to do something positive for this community as well. We touched on how nuanced and difficult this journey can be when you're looking for a community and you have a very nuanced and complicated diagnosis. But I talk a lot about kind of the emotional journey that I went through. I actually totally fell into clinical depression early on when Owen was diagnosed, and I literally didn't recognize it. I was laying in my bed, and I remember saying to my husband, I was like, "I can't get out of the bed." And he's like, "Well, why?" And I was like, "I don't know. And I can't stop crying." I was like, "You're going to have to take over."
Yeah.
And he's like, "No, I don't think so." But, just things like that. There's a lot of difficult emotions and trauma that go into that. And I'm trying really hard to build a community. And I realize there's really very little support for caregivers. And I've met enough moms and started to just kind of realize that we needed a safe space. We still want to do fun things together. And doing it. So basically I got into doing this. Sounds so wild because it's just so off topic. But anyways, we do adventure trips for the moms. We go on hiking
trips.
Off
topic. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's just so wildly related, a bit.
How many people were at your last one?
So last year we brought 57 moms out to Zion. We just all epilepsy and disability moms, all of us together, just having a great time and really connecting through kind of an intense experience together. So that's what I'm doing now. So check me out, electric-love.org.
And we'll put both everything in also the notes, show notes.
I want to give Colleen a bigger hype woman than she'll give herself because I think, everybody has different personalities, just like, epilepsy's nuanced. We all didn't choose this, and it's hard to continue to try to find your identity when
she's very much a leader.
Yeah, but welcoming to
sweet.
You
Sugar
don't
talk.
have to go about it the same way that she does. And I think that welcoming, we're all so different and we all lead different lives in different places.
It's our common denominator.
Yeah, and but that's okay and welcomed, and you don't have to, be an advocate in a particular kind of way, and you're still welcome that, you're not we're not the stereotypical advocate that, maybe people might expect, and that there's still a place for you, I think is such a beautiful thing. That,
even though it's like a rare-ish condition, it's
Yeah.
still like, what is it? 2,000 kids a year?
2,500
2,500 a year
in the
get
US.
So it's
in the
like,
US.
that's
So
not
you
like.
can extrapolate that. It's
Yeah.
probably like,
And also, there's
30,
probably some who aren't
40,000.
getting diagnosed at all.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right.
But like 2,500, that's a lot when, we know each other, but like, do we know 2,500 the same year that our kids were
No.
diagnosed?
No.
No.
It's crazy.
But I
And
hope
where
they
did
find us, right?
go?
Like, I hope that they
Yeah.
get out into the social media and make connections. I think it's really healing. So we're here.
Absolutely.
So we'll end on this. One of the things that really frustrates me personally, I know, Kate, you live in Boston and you're down in OC, and there's not one LA private school from kindergarten on that allows an aid.
Wow,
way.
seriously?
Not one.
Or allows a special
Allows.
needs. No, a special needs kit.
Yeah. Special needs
Allows.
kids. But here's where it's really funny to me, because I know everyone at all these schools. Like, I'm pretty dialed in. And
Making the calls.
I mean, you've been here for your whole life.
But like
I've been here
what? Then like you can take him at his expense. Like that's not fair.
and I would bear the financial, or we would bear the financial burden.
Or insurance would, yeah.
Yeah.
No, forget insurance.
Yeah,
No, we would
just-
pay for someone to be with him. And they said, nope, we don't want a kid like him with our rich kids. And I know all these schools. I know every single one of these freaking schools, and they will not allow a kid like Maverick because, we like to project. No, hold on. We like to project these progressive values. But guess what? When it's someone we actually want to help, and if he was a disruption in class, guess what? The aide will take him away.
Yeah.
He will take, like, the aide will take the kid away, Maverick away, so that it wouldn't disrupt other rich kids that have to get taught. And they will not do it. Not one.
We don't get past the secretary at the school. We say, do you guys allow special needs kids? And they say, no, this is not the school for you.
And that's what's actually shocking to me, because
have you guys
They really won't even
have
like
you guys felt the
entertain
same?
the
they won't
conversation.
entertain. Not one
Just
private
even-
school. Not one. I know a lot of these people that
He's very
listen to this
upset about
fucking podcast that are parents of these schools. Go talk to your
Where
headmaster.
did you go? I'd like to know. I grew up
I went
around
to
here.
Grand Hills Public. I went to a public
Okay.
school.
And
I just know
have a
all the
public
rich. I know every parent that sends kids to these schools.
Yeah, we also have a public school option, which
Yeah.
we've heard is better in general anyway, which is what we're likely
No,
going to
but
do.
principal,
we
though.
should get
It's a
our
principle.
kids should have the opportunities. I mean, are we embracing this whole inclusion mentality, people, or what?
That's my
It's a
point.
front.
It's all bullshit. It's
Yeah.
all bullshit. That's my point. These private schools in Los Angeles are all bullshit.
Okay.
You can talk to every parent, and you guys can
the pod took
DM
a
me.
turn for
Yeah.
like a
DM
huge
me.
right turn.
DM me.
So Charlotte was already
I'm
in
curious.
preschool,
This is
and
educating for me.
Yeah.
that was a big reason writing the book, that I saw their faces, and they're wonderful. Don't get me wrong. And they have been incredible throughout supporting us as a family, but they didn't understand. I didn't understand epilepsy. I saw their faces when we were explaining it, and it was like, and you realize that, I mean, America sucks in general, that we have the maternity that we do. Most children diagnosed with infantile spasms being in their first year of life, by the time they're going to enroll in daycare, preschool, whatever it is, they have this diagnosis. It was different for us that we were already enrolled, but because it's private, it's not like daycare or preschool is not public school. They don't have to tell you that it's because they have special needs or because they have a
Right.
diagnosis, but
Right.
you hear about it in Canada and like the UK that, they just, are not able to support that. And that was my fear, that Charlotte was, we don't know, where things will fall with her, but I didn't want her to be excluded before like
Right.
just because.
Well, I'm surprised there still aren't like a couple of options. I mean, this
Zero.
Well, honestly,
I'm telling you,
but
zero.
but we will also say very, very, very different about preschool. Every single preschool in Los Angeles was open
Really?
arms.
Open arms, 100%.
Open arms. Every
But
single
guess
one.
what? Once your kid's
But
five,
once it's elementary.
Then it's not cute
Okay.
anymore.
it's not fun. He's not cute enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's a heartbreaker when we have other kids. You know, that was kind of a later onset like sadness that happened in our family when I realized my kids couldn't go to school together because
Yeah.
they just don't
Yeah.
have the resources and things. And my kids all go to public school down in Orange County because that's all we got. But you know, they still, Owen he's got the one-on-one aid. He's got the therapies all day at school. And they weren't able, that particular campus didn't have the supports. And what was I going to do? Yank my other two out so that they could all go to school together? It was just like a weird dynamic. And
you can
not cool.
We're questioning talking about having a one-on-one with my son who, like I said earlier in this podcast, like I'm 1A, my nanny's 1B. This guy's 1C. Like, and if we can't tell if he has a seizure, like they're not gonna be able to tell. Someone new, someone who hasn't been around him for the past 4
and this
years.
compounds the awareness issue we're talking about, where epilepsy can't get elevated in society because our kids aren't allowed to be in the schools.
Like I can't afford for him to have like an eye roll one day and we lose a week because no one caught it.
Yeah.
Like,
And at the same time, we've had the opposite that they'll call me like Charlotte didn't respond right away, and I'll
good
panic,
point. It happens the other way too.
And you're like, it's like nothing.
Yeah.
Right. And I've even, poor Teddy, like, because that kid hits his head 24/7 and we get calls. I'm like, look, I'll sign whatever you need me to sign. Do not call me if it's Teddy. Yeah. Because anytime I see the school calling, I'm like, something bad's happened. If it's Teddy, I don't care.
He screamed his knee. He's good.
Just like hang out there. Like, hey, we're calling about Theodore Click.
But if it's Charlotte, I'm like, look, if I'm concerned, be concerned. If I'm not, don't tell me.
Yeah.
Like,
that's fair.
Yeah.
But I don't want them to miss things, and it's hard. Yeah. Like, I don't know.
And then I just want to close on this for me personally. All you private school parents, I'm coming at you.
Okay, we already know that.
I am coming at you.
Do you also want to close on the RFK nomination?
Oh yeah, super excited for the healthcare changes coming soon. That's going to impact special needs families in just a
such
really
a great way,
wonderful way. Everybody's
Here's
excited.
the thing with RFK. There's this obsession with them, and
since Dean Andromeda on the pod, you can speak freely.
I can speak freely.
Yeah.
So there's this obsession about vaccines, not COVID. So let's take COVID vaccines out. Vaccines for kids and how they affect autism. And
Are we still talking about that?
And I'm going to give like a little lesson on this.
We're ready to learn. Let's hear it.
They changed the goalpost.
You guys already know.
You guys already know, as kids with similar needs as Mav, they've changed the goalpost of if you're nonverbal at 2, you are getting a diagnosis of autism. There's plenty of kids that are 3, 4, and 5 that weren't verbal at 2 that are totally developed.
Yeah.
That's a crazy standard.
Yeah.
That's way too young.
We got a wink and a nod from wherever we went. I'm not going to say their names, but we got a wink and a nod of like, he's 2, he's qualifying, take the services. And
I know parents that have done that and they knew it didn't fit and they were like, it's our best option. And that's really unfortunate.
And Mav needs a service. But I'm sure
it's not true.
Here's my point. My point is it's inaccurate. And they just, so because kids are getting vaccines, polio, you name it.
Well, it was eradicated.
Let's see.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about RFK, and D can jerk him off all he wants. The only reason that lifespan has expanded is because infant mortality has declined significantly. That's the only thing. That's because of modern medicine. So that's vaccines. It's shots when you get born.
Colleen, you might get this a lot too, but I get a lot of newly diagnosed families, and they're concerned. Most of them, like we may be on the other end. A lot of families end up getting control and doing well. Then their next concern is, do I continue with vaccines? Because unfortunately, they've heard all of this hubbub, and of course they're traumatized, wondering, do I want to mess this up? And I'm not going to lie, I can understand we all get superstitious and nervous about things.
But do they also realize that having a common cold or a flu can also bring on epilepsy? Which is crazy. And in a normal kid, febrile seizures.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Getting the flu vaccine can prevent febrile seizures.
Yeah.
But also that any truth in vaccines causing seizures that people may have extrapolated into their own truths, which, that people have their own thoughts, feelings.
I think it's some people, it's so easy to blame vaccines. I don't know. My son doesn't have a diagnosis, and a lot of people are like us in epilepsy world, and they don't have a diagnosis, not an underlying cause. And it's so easy to be like, oh, it was these vaccines. I hope it brings them comfort, honestly, to it's blame the vaccine. You know what I mean? I hope it brings you comfort.
Maybe it's different because I know for a fact that's not
well, honestly,
Charlotte's case.
Also the only person, it's definitely, it's Mav has cortical dysplasia, but the only people who I've had multiple things on my Instagram for who have been commenting are people with no kids.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, did you give your kids vaccines? Yep. I'm like, why don't you go fuck yourself and then have a kid and come back and talk to me?
But stop. Vaccines, any vaccine, just like if we get the flu shot, it lowers your
threshold.
Yes, and you can appear to it's not true. It's just simply not true, and there's no science to back it, and it's just.
But people don't trust science anymore.
Yeah, that's also true. All right, let's close.
Let's close. So I think everyone, we're going to put everyone's projects and everything in our bio. So please, everyone, check it out. If you know schools who want any of some bears, if you know a hospital connect, please
public
reach
schools
out
only,
to Charbear. Public schools only. Yeah.
No LA private schools.
If you know any
private school parents to DM me.
Yeah.
My DMs are open. Come at me.
Okay.
If you know any
challenges
any
out
parents
there.
who are going through any of this, also please feel free to reach out to any of us. We would love to connect, and we're all a crew in this together. I mean, epilepsy in general, but infantile spasms, we're more in tune with in terms of the drugs and stuff. So feel free. And also any medical moms who would like to go on the electric retreats.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please.
Come with us. That's the play on words, right? It's electric love because epilepsy is often described as an electrical disorder of the brain. So,
and UCLA probably won't like me to say this, but I'm on the board of the Children's Hospital. If anyone needs any needs at UCLA, I can help you. Just DM me.
Oh, and then lastly, also if you guys, we're also going to put this in our thing, but it's Epilepsy Month, and if you guys ever want to donate to,
if you're a private school parent, no, I'm not helping.
We'll take your money though.
Okay. Lastly, we're also going to plug ours. If anyone wants to donate to Dr. Hussein's research, our links are in our bios. We'll put it in the show notes as well. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys for being here.
Thanks for having me.
We've known each other for years, all of us. And then weirdly, it's so funny, coming together. So, and it's going to be a fun 2 days.
But it's we've done this a million times.
I know.
It's so familiar.
And then we're going to Disneyland.
Disneyland. So where are you guys going to go? To Disneyland.
Thank you guys.
All right,
thanks for having us.